podcast doesn't exist. A lot of good shit in the news. The Phillies suck ass. The Mets are the best. And the Braves. A lot of clubhouse drama. There's a lot of shit going on, man. There's a lot of shit. We got a guy in the Braves broadcast crew going on a date with a girl. That's leading the news. He went on a date with this chick. A lot of people online were saying inappropriate. Don't ask a girl for her number on the broadcast. That's not fucking right. But I don't know, Mitch. What do you think? Is it chill?
Turns out we didn't have the full story. She approached him first. They had whatever the conversation was. She said that she gave Wiley her number for a reason, according to the Braves podcast.
Wait,
broadcast.
She said, say that again. She gave him his number?
She gave her number to him for a reason.
Because she had a crush on him.
And everyone was getting on Wiley, and the whole time, it was Wiley who was the mark.
Bro, Wiley has game, dog. He's risen her up. That was a valid of Riz. You know that we don't stand with SA in any degree, but I would say that was clean. That was a clean play. Even on TV, asked her for a number, got egged on a little bit, miscommunication maybe, asked for the number, got the number. They went on a date. Did they kiss, dude? What base did they get to?
I think we got to talk to the Braves broadcast.
That wasn't reported in the article?
Wasn't.
Was she on the podcast?
No, it was not even Wiley. It was the two other guys, and they were just like, actually, Wiley, he got a date. He's been calling Georgia Tech games lately, quote, but he's been missing from the Braves broadcast. I don't know. I don't watch Georgia Tech baseball. Is he actually there?
Oh, you think he's slamming pussy instead?
I don't know. Maybe he went back to Canada.
Well, Mr. Wiley, we're proud of you, man, for going on a date with her. It also could be the Braves totally just being like, yo, she asked for his number. Trust me, it's not weird. Anyway, we're happy to see true love, dude. It is spring. It's mating season. There's a lot of mating going on in the Cy Young Award rankings. I know everyone's checking the Cy Young Award rankings early, but it stuck out to me from Mr. Thomas Nestico, TJ Stats. This is like the top 5 for Cy Young right now in the American League. Number 1, Hunter Brown. Number 2, Garrett Crochet. Okay, that makes sense. Number 3, Max Fried. All right, that makes sense. Chris Bassett, number 4. Chris Bubik, number 5, man. Does any of that surprise you? Those are the best pitchers in the American League right now. Hunter Brown, Crochet, Fried, Bassett, and Bubik.
Totally had all 5 of those guys for Cy Young in the American League. Max Fried, Garrett Crochet, kind of a stretch, but the other 3, totally my top 3 for the Cy Young.
I mean, Hunter Brown. How old is Hunter Brown? Because Hunter Brown did come up. I remember him getting a little bit of, press. Watch out for Hunter Brown. I'm not sure if it amounts to anything. I think he was one of the worst pitchers last year for a starter. 1.54 WAR last year. Oh, that's this year. So he had a 2.6 WAR last year and a 3.49 ERA. That was actually a very good season. So he had a good season last year. It was the year before that he was dog shit. But 26, Hunter Brown for the freaking the Astros, dude. I'm telling you, the Astros need it too. I was looking at the Astros lineup, bro. They're washed. I'm ready to say it. I know it's early on. I think going into the season, we were trying to say, oh, Astros are washed, but we didn't want to because, it's a team that's in the fucking World Series every year, no matter what. It's almost like you want to hold your tongue. I don't want to look like an idiot saying the Astros are washed, but going down their lineup, Yanir Diaz, who came out strong, but right now he's rocking a -5 WAR batting 155, has not done good. Christian Walker, their free agent signing, again, not done good. Then they got Brendan Rodgers playing second. Jeremy Pena, who's, kind of regressed a little bit from his hot rookie season. Still a good player. I mean, he's got a 1.3 WAR already. I mean, now we just sound like the WAR podcast, but that's all mostly defense. Not to shit on defense. I know there's a lot of defensive-minded people in the chat and in the views, but Jeremy Pena, kind of a defense-first guy. Hitting okay. Isaac Paredes, man, that one kind of hurts. Not doing terrible, but the guy they traded for Isaac Paredes is the best player in the world. Kyle Tucker for the Cubs he hit a home run last night in Wrigley Field. Everybody hit a home run in Wrigley Field last night, but he's leading the league in every single category. You traded this guy for Isaac Paredes and a prospect when Kyle Tucker's about to win the MVP this year. He's making insanely sick diving catches. He's hitting bombs with no batting gloves. Honestly, I think the Astros probably saw him. If you remember last year, Kyle Tucker famously Never been a batting gloves guy. Pees in his hands, gets the calluses, does all that thing, but does not use batting gloves. If you saw him last year, he was going through times where he was putting them on, taking at bats with batting gloves. And you know right there, you see that, you're fucked in your own head. You're not a batting gloves guy. Once you put them on, you lost your steez. I think the Astros might have saw that and said, damn, this guy's lost confidence in himself. We lost confidence in him. Shipped into Chicago, and fuck, man, that guy's been amazing. But Jose Altuve, not hitting that great. He's getting roasted every day for playing left field terribly. I think Altuve will come back. And then you got Jake Myers, Cam Smith, and Yordan Alvarez, which has been, the biggest shocker for me. I mean, that guy has, so far, 2 home runs for Yordan Alvarez. -2 WAR for the big DH, dude. But yeah, just going through that lineup, dude. The lineup isn't what it used to be. Yanir Diaz, Christian Walker, Brendan Rodgers, Jeremy Pena, Isaac Paredes, Jose Altuve, Jake Myers, Cam Smith, Yordan Alvarez. I'll say that. I'll be honest. Reading that lineup, they actually do have some better names than I realized. I mean, if Christian Walker plays like he did last year, if Isaac Paredes gets the juice, have you checked his home and away splits for Isaac Paredes? That would be interesting.
I can do that right now.
If Paredes gets his juice back, Yanir Diaz needs to get his juice back. When that guy came up, he was one of the best hitting catchers in the league. I mean, Cam Smith, the rookie, has been looking good but he's 22, so what are you going to get out of him? I don't know. I don't know what the Astros are going to do. They're going to try their hardest. I mean, Hunter Brown is leading the way of the rotation, but other than Hunter Brown, they got Framber. You know, Framber's a reliable guy, but Ronald Blanco, Wesneski, and Arligeti. I mean, you know, when you have 2 guys who you can't really pronounce their name because they're hard to pronounce, like, I'm just not a fan of your team, basically, because I struggle with pronunciation. If you're going to put...
And you just can't cover them, period.
Yeah, if you're going to throw Wesneski at me and then follow it up with Arligeti, like, no, I can't really ride with the Astros. I'm just saying.
I got the Paredes splits. They're exactly what you'd expect them to be. He has a 162 WRC plus at home and a 56 WRC plus on the road. And what's funny is he strikes out 24.4% of the time on the road. That drops to 15% at Daikin, whatever it's called now.
Don't call it Daikin.
Minute Maid in run. He also walks 16.9% of the time at home, and his walk rate on the road is 4.9. So these pitchers, when he's not at Minute Maid, they're like, we can just throw fastballs down the middle. But as soon as he goes home, they're terrified. He's Barry Bonds.
Yeah, you got to give him the Barry Bonds treatment. So how many home runs does he have on the road? He's got 3 homers. No, he's got
4 homers at home, 0 on the road.
There you go. So the plan is it's going according to plan. I mean, the guy is hitting terribly on the road, hitting great at home, 4 home runs all at home. It evens out to about at a slightly above average hitter. I mean, no one thought Isaac Paredes was going to be anywhere close to Kyle Tucker. Just what hurts is that Kyle Tucker is raking right now. And you want to look at the Astros, if like you still had Kyle Tucker, I think the narrative would be like, don't worry, they'll be coming back soon. But without him, I don't trust them. So they're 11 and they're 12 and 11. Can't beat the Texas Rangers. It's the Battle of Texas over there, but everyone in the AL West is basically even. It's a very jumbled up division. You think the Rangers will hold on that?
I think it's funny they're in first place. They've got a negative run differential. They have a guy who literally is like 3 games away from breaking the record for most hitless at bats. Marcus Semien was so bad they moved him down in the lineup. Corey Seager sucks for my fantasy team, and they're in first place. So.
What? Corey Seager's had a good season. Am I wrong?
He averaged. Yesterday was like, should I just start IKF over Seager?
Oh my God, Mitch. No.
He's been pretty mediocre fantasy-wise.
Okay, fantasy-wise. Baseball on the field-wise, value-wise, you look at the metrics, a 140 OPS plus. You can't be mad at Kyle Seager. I noticed he changed his stance a shit ton. But yeah, Joc Pederson with a -35 OPS plus. He's 0 for 41. So that's the worst streak in Rangers history. 0 for 41.
0 for 41.
And what's his average? I believe I read that he has like the worst average through like 40 games or something. How many games he's played?
20. I think he's at 19 games now. His average is 0.52.
What happened, Joc? Well, last year, he led the league in hit by pitches. So that's a lot of chances to get hurt. There could be a bone bruise or something going on. I mean, he got hit 18 times. That's 18 chances to get injured. This could be lingering effect.
Didn't Jerks and Profar get hit a ton last year too?
Probably do.
So they took different routes to heal. Joc's like, I'll take it the natural way. I'll just be terrible for the Rangers. And Jerks was like, give me those pills.
For real, Joc Pederson is the most natural player in baseball because he's put on probably 60 pounds since he started in MLB, and it's just all fat. It's like there's no question he's probably not on steroids, but he's gained 60 pounds of pure fat, and you got to respect it.
There's this graphic. I don't actually know where it originates from. This is from Yankees World Twitter, though. And it has his stance from like 2016 to 2024, and he just like balloons in weight in every single picture.
Yeah, he changes his stance twice a year, changes his bat every at bat, gets bigger and bigger every season. He was playing center field for the Dodgers when he came up. He was a center fielder. Now he's rocking. Now he's like 260, dude.
I don't even know if he has his glove with him, like, at all.
Maybe that's the issue because I'm looking at a picture of him in spring training rocking a first baseman's glove. Maybe the Rangers were like, hey, Joc, maybe you can play first base. And he's like, oh, shit. Now
he didn't play at all in the field last year. He hasn't played at all in the field this year.
But it entered his brain, and now he's in defense mode. What? I thought you were going to finish what you said. I cut you off.
No.
He hasn't played. The Braves are playing. Did we win yet?
They won.
Mitchell's in the full Braves uni.
For a special guest.
Do you always rock the full Braves uni when the boys are on?
No, but I felt like today, for our special guest, I had to rock a jersey. Like, I'm not going to go full Braves uni like this guy, but in his honor, I got to put on something.
Fuck, we've buried the lead. We have Marcell Ozuna, our first guest in baseball. Our podcast doesn't exist history. We have Marcell Ozuna coming on the pod. That will be later on when he calls in. We will talk about the Braves later. There's a lot of developing stories with Acuna and the Braves, and there's a whole history. Oh my God, Strider is a lot. All right. But yes, Marcell Ozuna will be coming on later. So I'm kind of nervous about that, but it'll be a good interview. Stick around for that. Shannon Sharpe's in the news. You think he did it, Mitch? What do you think?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Like, what the story is.
I haven't heard this.
Never mind. I just wanted Mitchell's take on it, Jack. We don't need to hear your take.
I'm
get us off
solely only baseball. You ask me any other sport, and I'm the dumbest man alive.
Well, next podcast, I need a really good take on Shannon Sharpe and his off-the-field activities because it's all over Twitter. But a more wholesome topic. There's another gender reveal in Cleveland, dude. This is the second time this week an MLB player came to the plate with a item to signify the gender of a child. This time it was Stephen Kwan. Was it Stephen Kwan?
Stephen Kwan.
Stephen Kwan, but it wasn't his child, right?
No, it was David Fry's.
David Fry's. So, and Trey Turner went up to the plate
for Bryce Harper.
For Bryce Harper. Why doesn't Bryce Harper come up to the plate with the fucking blue bat? Because then he would spoil it?
Is David Fry injured? Is that what's going on?
I don't give a fuck about David Fry, dude. I give a fuck about the child's gender. Is it a boy or a girl, Mitch? We got to know.
So David Fry's on the 60-day IL, so he couldn't do it himself.
Is it a boy or a girl, dude? Tell me.
I'm getting there. Stephen Kwan, he walks up, calls timeout, and pulls out a pink.
Is it a boy or a girl?
A pink wristband.
Pink, so girl.
Yeah.
Let's. Damn. I was guessing that could have been a boo. I was just, I don't want to boo the ladies, but we got a girl. David Fry's going to be a girl dad. You know what? This trend is kind of cringe, bro. I mean, I don't like it, brother. I don't like it.
I've never seen this before this year. Do you think David Fry watched Trey Turner and Bryce Harper when I went in on that?
I think his wife watched
and now
Trey Turner
every
and Bryce
single
Harper.
gender reveal in Major League Baseball. We're going to see like 50 of these by the end of the year.
Oh, yeah. The shorties love
socks, bats, cleats.
The shorties
sunglasses.
Love a gender reveal. I'm not a big gender reveal guy, hey, but if it makes, happy wife, happy life, I get it. But come on. It's Cleveland too, blue collar city, dude. How are the fans feeling about that? We're from Cleveland. We're hot. We're rough and tumble. Did your granddaddy do a gender reveal? No, dude. And he died in World War II probably. And he's a badass. And he saved the country And he didn't have a gender reveal. Just saying, I'm old school. But Cleveland Guardians.
I think if Cleveland was doing worse, man, they'd be hating this.
Yeah.
But Cleveland.
Yeah, I might just start calling them the Indians for the rest of the segment just in protest. But no, the Cleveland Guardians, first place. They fucking beat our Tigers. We've been sucking off the Tigers like 3 podcasts, and now they're not even in first place. The Cleveland Guardians, another team, negative run differential, first place. 2 teams in MLB right now. Now it's just 1 run, but 2 teams with a negative run differential and in first place. That just goes to show that, guys, it's still early. Be patient. Let the time. If your team's doing bad right now, it could get better. It's early. Unless you like the Rockies, then jump off a bridge. You're fucked. Or the Pirates. But no, Cleveland. So, Steven Kwan. I mean, that's the player you got to highlight. This guy's turned into like a legit fucking guy. I mean, has he had any, I feel like Steven Kwan came up, was like a rookie. He was not the stereotypical 2025 MLB star. He's small. He hits for contact, doesn't hit for power. He's quick. He's speedy. But he just puts the ball in play, singles, kind of like Luis Arraez. So no one was like, okay, Steven Kwan, top prospect, he's coming up. No, but he had an amazing rookie season. Do you have the numbers on
Yeah,
Steven
so
Kwan?
his rookie year, he finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting. He won a Gold Glove. He had a 772 OPS, hit 298. So not quite the 300 average hitter you would expect from a slap hitter, but he also walked like 10% of the time. So he wasn't striking out. He was taking his walks. He was getting his hits. And so with that and Gold Glove defense, you had a really good player.
Yeah, and so that was his rookie year, 5.7 WAR. That puts you up in the probably top 5 outfielders in the league.
I mean, he had a 5.7 WAR, so he probably should have even been an all-star at that point.
3rd in Rookie of the Year voting. The next year, a little bit of a regression, didn't hit as well, but productive player. Last year, that's when he came out with the power. And that's the thing with Steven Kwan. Now, granted, it was 14 home runs last year, nothing crazy, but this is a guy who's choking up on the bat hitting singles. Last year, he hits for 14 home runs. And that was his whole strategy. Wasn't his strategy to strike out more, or what was the thing?
Yeah, he practiced in the offseason last year, or in 2024, just swinging and missing. He would go to the batting cage, and then he would whiff on purpose. And his whole thing was, his previous season was a bad season by his standard, and he just had such a hard time not letting himself swing and miss at pitches he was swinging at, but didn't have a chance to hit well. And so he came back in 2024, more willing to whiff on pitches, more willing to hit good pitches, and he had a pretty good season last year.
So yeah, he had a great season last year. So, I mean, purposely missed the balls on purpose and got significantly better. So far this season, the guy already has, what has he got? 4 bombies? 4 bombs for the chosen Kwan. And what is this on his sprint speed? It's gone down or up? I can't.
So, it's funny. When he came up in 2022, he was a speed guy. He was 80th percentile in speed, 28.4 feet per second. He stole, I think, 25 bags. 19 bags in his rookie year. And now he's in the 31st percentile in sprint speed. He's a slow player.
So he's turning into Joc Pederson. Maybe he's on the Joc Pederson arc. I mean, the guy's just going to get fatter and fatter, more bombs, until you get to a point where you're going 0 for 41. No, I don't think he's going to go Joc Pederson, but he's getting slow. That is weird. Did he ever have any injuries?
He had a few injuries, I think, in 2023. I think that's... Oh, and 2024. No, 2024, he was injured.
2024. And then was last season when he was hitting 400? Or that was 2 seasons ago?
I think it was last year he was hitting 400. Then he got injured, came back, and
must have had a terrible second half, dude. Because his end of the year numbers... Okay, I'm looking at the wrong year.
He did have a terrible second half.
Yeah, so
53 games, batted 206.
Yeah, well, Steven Kwan, I love Steven Kwan. Kyle Manzardo hitting bombs, took one deep off Paul Skenes on bobblehead night. That was pretty good. Lane Thomas not doing as good. The Big Christmas not doing as good. I'm just listing off players from the Guardians who, if they're doing bad or good. As a team, they're doing good. They're kind of mid in every category, though. 19th in starters ERA, 19th in runs. The relief pitchers are the best part about them. 8th in ERA. And that's
Which is
got to
funny,
be was
'cause
Clase
Clase
terrible.
sucks.
Yeah, and Clase, that's we gotta put a notice on Clase. What happened to that guy? Like did Pete Alonso break him?
So I was doing research, and like I started looking him up. No news. 6 minutes later, he has a shoulder issue,
Ooh.
shoulder discomfort. And I don't know if that's part of him being like, man, I've already allowed more runs than I allowed all of last season. Since the playoffs started, he has a an 8.35 ERA since the playoff, going back to last year, where he had like a 0.7 ERA for the whole season in 2024. Showed off his awards during the playoffs. Said, "Hey, I'm choking in the playoffs, but look at my
that was
the
a
best
sick
reliever."
move. This guy gives up a couple runs to the Yankees, goes home on Instagram and just takes a picture of all his awards, put it on his story. Which
hasn't done well since then.
So yeah, it wasn't Pete. No, okay, sorry. I got Devin Williams mixed up with Emmanuel Clase.
I mean, Devin Williams has probably been messed up by
Pete Alonso and the tipping pitching. Clase struggled against Kerry Carpenter, took him deep. Then the Yankees took him deep like 3 or 4 times. Like he struggled and he was lights out all year. Now he's got a 7.8 ERA. Still, the Guardians are 8th in bullpen ERA. I mean, what starters are they rocking with now? Like Bybee's been terrible. Tristan McKenzie just got DFA'd.
I thought McKenzie was going to be like their starter of the future. And the Guardians, kind of like the Mariners, have had a pitching factory for like a decade.
Yeah, they always just pull guys out of their ass. They show up and they're amazing as rookies. And that's what happened with McKenzie. McKenzie in 2020, shortened season, but was amazing. Like a young starter that people thought was going to be one of the next big things. In 2022, he was really fucking good. With under 3 ERA, pitched the whole season. Since then, he has been hurt and terrible. 5 ERA in 2023, 5.11 in 2024. This year, he's had an 11 ERA, and they dropped his ass from the team. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy how quickly players get old. Like Tristan McKenzie, you think like feels like has always been just a prospect because he's been hurt the whole time.
He kind of speed ran the Thor thing.
What Thor thing?
Like Noah Syndergaard being really, really good. And then just losing a bunch of velocity really quickly, and then
did he lose velocity?
Yeah, I think he was throwing like 90.
Ooh, yeah, sticks. Well, we're wishing him the best, dude. We're wishing the Guardians, but are the Guardians fraud, bro? Because they are in first place, but with the -1 run differential, and you look at all their stats, nothing looks great. And if their closer Emmanuel Clase is going to be on the bend, and McKenzie is off the team. I don't know.
I think it all goes back to having a vibes guy, and their manager is the ultimate vibes guy. So no matter if you're underperforming run or overperforming based on run differential, you got the vibes guy, and that's all that matters.
Well, what about the manager makes him a vibes guy?
Stephen Vogt.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not notorious, but like he's famously the vibes guy.
I don't know if you can just say, yeah, Cleveland Guardians manager, vibes guy, and people listening are going to be like, oh yeah, Stephen Vogt.
Stephen Vogt.
Everyone knows Stephen Vogt is the
You
vibes.
don't know Stephen Vogt? 30 WRC plus for the Braves.
I know Stephen Vogt because I watch fucking baseball stats 24/7. It's my fucking thing. But for the
Stephen Vogt is known for like keeping the clubhouse loose. He had this referee persona when he was with the A's and the D-backs and the Braves. Even his last game with the Braves, he brought out the referee personnel, hit 2 homers, and then got injured.
Damn,
missed the rest of the year.
Bro, that's not good. Everyone hates referees.
But this guy, they all love, and he's just known for being a funny dude.
It's a tongue-in-cheek. Fuck. Referee. You got a manager, not only the manager has to enforce the rules, he's a manager and a ref. I don't think that's good vibes. Fuck Stephen Vogt. I'm not having him on as a guest.
So Stephen Vogt reaches out to you and says, hey, love the show. Would love to be on it. You're saying no.
I said, kick rocks, dude. You got Francona fired. I know there was some stuff behind the scenes there. Stephen Vogt. He sucked for the Braves, bro. In the 10 games he played.
I think, vibes guy. He won World Series for the Braves.
That. I think the Braves pulled him up for
He has a World Series ring.
It's true. I don't. Stephen Vogt, I forgive you.
You believe in Stephen Vogt?
You know who else I forgive?
But the Mets, baby. Love the Mets. All right, baby. Let's go. Get a home run, baby. Love the Mets. Let's go, Mets.
I'm a Mets fan now. They can't be stopped. 8-2 over the last 2 games. Tied for the second best run differential in baseball. You want to see some crazy shit about the Mets that Mitchell put in here? So all credit to Mitch, but like, listen to this about the New York fucking Mets, the mighty Mets. Sean Manaea hasn't pitched. Frankie Montas hasn't pitched. Paul Blackburn hasn't pitched. Francisco Alvarez hasn't played. Jeff McNeil hasn't played. Jose Siri is out for 10 weeks. Mark Vientos sucks. He's batting 173. Starling Marte sucks. He's batting 171. Edwin Diaz sucks. He's throwing with a 5.59 ERA. Terrible. Lindor has been terrible until about like a week ago, and he's been amazing. So shout out to Lindor. Juan Soto has been mid as fuck, only a 115 WRC plus and just a .4 WAR, and they're tied for the most wins in baseball, despite all that shit.
I feel like if it was any other team, you could be like if the Mets were like 7-17, you would point out to all of this and be like, this is why. Like, you would feel bad for them. And they're really good.
They just win, man. The pumpkin, the good vibes are holding over from the playoffs. They all the pumpkin and Grimace. I haven't seen Grimace in the stadium. Like, are the Mets good without Grimace? I didn't think it was possible.
I mean, they've got the Rizzler.
The Rizzler's in town. I also saw Rizzler exposed wearing Yankee shit. So, like, I'm already on your ass, Riz. You got to pick a team, buddy. Like, is it Yankees or Mets? You don't be throwing first pitches for a team you don't rock with, dude. Yankees and Mets, that's the Subway Series. They're real rivals. You get shot for liking the Mets and the Yankees at the same time. Where I'm from.
Arlington, Virginia.
Yeah. In Virginia, dude, if you like the Yankees and the Mets, no, they don't play that. You got to pick a side. But yeah, I mean, fucking Pete Alonso. This guy's been getting clowned for years. Like, and Pete Alonso's a great player. He has a terrible offseason where no one wants to sign him. The Mets don't even want to sign him. They're like, listen, bro, I know you want to get paid a lot of money, but we're calling your bluff. Nobody wants your ass. And it's nothing really against Pete Alonso. He's been a great player. He just is kind of one-dimensional where he hits for power, not a great defender, and first basemen aren't necessarily the hot thing on the market right now. He cursed out the owner after getting signed. Let him have it. Cohen said, get it off your chest. So you thought maybe vibes were bad. Vibes were not bad. The Mets vibes are just fucking good. Pete Alonso's been insane. I think he's been the second best hitter in baseball other than Mr. Aaron Judge, which shouldn't count. He should be in a category of his own. But it's really the pitchers, bro. And like the pitchers, we were talking about, the Mets pitchers are so bad, dude. They're never going to be better than the Braves. Look how bad the Mets pitchers are. I'm really worried about the Mets pitchers. Clay Holmes, 3.16 ERA. Tyler McGill. Tyler McGill is the best pitcher in the world right now.
He's not even the best pitcher on the team.
Good point. Because we got Kodai Senga, second lowest in MLB with a .79 ERA. Griffin Canning, he's even pitching well. And David Peterson, both pitching well. So they're the number one starting rotation in the league right now.
Number one. I went through and I found 4 teams where their best starter by ERA is worse than David Peterson, who's the Mets' worst starting pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 teams in Major League Baseball would slot David Peterson at number 1. But for the Mets, he's number 5.
Sure. Kind of hurts me, to be honest, but hey. I meant to go claps there. That's booing me and Mitch for clowning the Mets early on, and they've been the best team in the fucking world. I mean, it's crazy, actually. The Mets are number 1 in the record, tied with the Padres right now. They just stuck it to the Phillies, and they're playing right now. Let's see where's that game at. So they're tied right now with the Phillies 2-2 in the top of the 7th. But if they win this game, that will be a 3-game sweep of the Phils, and people in Philadelphia are losing their shit. I was shocked to see. I did a Twitter search today of just Phillies, and it was just like 12 videos of Phillies fans being like, we suck. We're not good. We're terrible. Like, they didn't say rebuild, but like, how quickly can you turn, guys? It's what day is it?
April 23rd.
April 23rd. Are the Phillies fucked?
Their post-game crew said they're asking to get their butts kicked.
Dude, the post-game crew of the Phillies is one of the best post-game crews. I would only put the White Sox ahead of them and with Ozzie Guillen on there. But the Phillies this is what I liked about the Phillies, is they let their people who work for the team talk shit about the team. Nothing drives me crazy. And I like a homer announcer who's going to be rocking their team no matter what. But like, you can be a homer and still say, oh, you suck. The team is playing shit right now. Like, a lot of these teams just want the announcers to just suck off the team nonstop, and it's not fun to watch. And it makes all the announcers feel like robots.
I mean, the Orioles 2 years ago, their announcer got suspended because he mentioned some players who were in a trade.
Yeah, he mentioned their record against the Rays, and some guy got traded. Who got traded? I don't even remember. Doesn't even matter.
It wasn't even. It was like Kevin Gausman or something.
Yeah. After whatever trade, they fucking suspend him, and like, I'm sure it's like that all around MLB. Now Frank Gore, we'll see what happens to him, but I bet he's probably chilling. But still, I was very surprised to see. We'll get to Frank Gore later, but I was surprised to see Frank Gore talk like that when you're employed by a team. But Phillies postgame crew, I mean, they rail on the Phillies when they do bad. They said, quote, there is no rivalry between the Phillies and the Mets. So, because the Phillies have lost 8 of their last 10 against the Mets. That goes into the playoffs. They started 6-1 and they're 7-10 cents. Like, I watched multiple people they had a guy in the local news who I forget this guy's name, but I see him all the time. I put him in Baseball Doesn't Exist videos. He's like, a radio guy. They had him on the local news. They're asking him on the local Philadelphia news, what's wrong with the Phillies? Do we need to rebuild? Like, what is going on? When the team is in second place, what is the record right now?
They're 13-11.
13-11. They're in second place. They're probably in a wild card spot, technically.
Not with the NL West.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, the Phillies technically out of the playoffs right now, but like, chill out. You're in first place like a week ago. It ain't that big of a deal. But they have been getting crushed. So the Phillies have lost 7 of their last 8 at Citi Field. They're 6-19 at Citi Field since 2022. They're 59-79 all time at Citi Field. So they get crushed at Citi Field, and that's all including the playoffs too. This guy, I found this tweet. This was hilarious. Like, this tweet got 1.3 thousand likes, a Phillies fan. This Phillies team is pretty joyless this year. Bat flip 17. Remember when dancing on my own was the problem? Or calling them the daycare? Or celebrations when they got a hit, dumping the water? Just not a fun team to watch anymore lately. And they sure don't look like they're having a good time. And this is what I was talking about, bro. They put in the freaking lights in the clubhouse. They put the AC on. They get the refrigerator in the fucking dugout. All of a sudden, Bryce Harper's doing acai bowls and gender reveals at the plate. They lost their identity. They're not blue collar. They're soft. The fucking measly Mets came in and fucking whipped them, bro. They're about to sweep their ass.
I mean, they're missing Garrett Stubbs. They sent him to the minors. He was their MVP. He was their vibes guy.
He was the ultimate vibes guy.
And the guy, Rafael Marchand, he's heading terribly. So I think if the Phillies really want to fix their season, they call back up Garrett Stubbs.
Garrett Stubbs it could be the answer. I mean, Jesus Christ. No dollar dog night either. I mean, what is there to live for in Philadelphia? If you live in Philadelphia, like, there's nothing to live for.
Also, Philadelphia, the Phillies tickets are so expensive. I've always been like, oh, maybe I should take a quick train up to Philly, watch the Braves when they're in town. It's like $80 for the 400 section.
Hey, man. Yeah, they push tickets there. Dude.
The least they could do is dollar dog night. If you're paying $80 for 400 section.
Come on, give me a dollar dog. Do you see Penn State ate like 40,000 hot dogs at their dollar dog night? Just a quick side piece. Penn State, which is also in Pennsylvania, sorry. So within proximity of Philly, I'm sure there's a lot of overlap there. They attendance record for their dollar dog night, free admission for all ages. They sold. They gave away. They sold. Fuck, man. Did you find the numbers? I had it.
I thought you were looking for it.
I am looking for it. You know what I want? I want to see how many hot dogs these freaking savages ate. They're playing West Virginia. You know,
this was their baseball team?
Baseball
Dude, I thought you were
team.
talking about like their football. Their baseball team sold 40,000
Penn
dogs.
State Stadium has like 100,000 people. You know how many hot dogs they could take down at a football game?
Dude, like I said, I'm a baseball only dude. I'm so dumb outside of baseball.
And you're a baseball guy and you didn't know that Penn State huffed down 12,112 dogs yesterday? Against WVU, a new dollar dog record. So it's like a lot of these Phillies fans are probably saying, fuck the Phillies. Like, I like Penn State now. I'm a Penn State fan. They actually care about their fans. They're doing dollar dogs. The Phillies are just, let's be honest, playing like a mid-team the past week or so, and they're not even giving out dogs. I mean, to be serious for a second, I am not for 1 second worried about the Phillies as a team. I'm not.
No.
Are you?
So I came into the season, I thought I was much higher on the Mets than I was the Phillies, even with the pitching injuries.
Uh-huh.
It's just that they're old, and now the pitching is kind of injured. They have Christopher Sanchez leaving the game with forearm soreness. They were out without Ranger Suarez to start the year, and like if your core can't hit, then I think they're in trouble. Like I don't think they're a bad team, but I think they're closer to being a mid team than they are to being a great team.
Shit, Mitch. That's grim. I think this lineup is still going to be beast. Like I don't think Bryce Harper's close to being done with his prime. JT Realmuto, he is getting a little older. Maybe you worried about him. I think Trey Turner's going to be fine. He's 32. We'll see what we get out of Bohm, but you know, Schwarber's been amazing. He's going to hit bombs until he's 40. Castellanos is always a hit or miss, no matter what. He's either the best hitter in the league or the worst hitter in the league. But, like, that's a lot of guys. I am not worried about the Phillies. But the one guy I am worried about is Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola, so far this year, 6.43 ERA. This is a guy who's made 30-plus starts 6 years in a row. This guy never gets hurt. He's the most durable pitcher ever. All at the same time, he's pitched a shit ton of innings in his career. So maybe that could have something to do with it. But so far this season, he's lost at least 1 miles per hour on all 5 of his pitches. Fastball's down 1 miles per hour. Sinker's down 1 mile per hour. Cutter's down 2. Changeup's down 1. Knuckle curve's down 2. Like everything is slower. You got the stats right there. And he leads the league in runs allowed. He's no spring chicken either, dude. 32. I mean, I guess you could say that's the end of your prime, maybe. I wouldn't say 32 is washed up, but it's not looking good for early for Noli.
I think with inning eaters, there's always a question of like how many innings is too much. Where a guy like Zach Wheeler, he had his beginning of his career, he had Tommy John, he missed a bunch of time. So by the time that he was a free agent and went to the Phillies, he didn't have a ton of innings under his belt. And since then, he's been a workhorse. I think with Aaron Nola, it might be the opposite, where he put up so many innings on the front of his career that now he's starting to wear down.
Yeah. I mean, 2018, he led the league in WAR, 9.7 WAR season as a pitcher. 9.7 WAR. I mean, that's one of the best seasons
ever. But you're looking at Baseball Reference, aren't you?
Yeah. Not ever. I mean, but probably in the last decade, 9.7. That was 2018, man. Like, I don't even really remember that. He was 25. That was a long time ago. 2.37 ERA. But, you know, I don't know. At this point, would you say that Nola is an innings eater? Because when I hear innings eater, I think of a guy like Patrick Corbin, who's not a good pitcher. They just put him out because he's going to pitch a lot of innings.
I think with Nola, I'm kind of still in the wait and see, like I am with Chris Sale. Where the numbers don't look great from the start. I think Chris Sale's underlying metrics look a little bit better than Nola. But sometimes it just takes a while for good pitchers to get going. If Nola's still this bad next month, then I'm starting to question whether that 7-year deal was a good idea last year.
Yeah, the deal, that is a long deal. That was last year.
He's in the second year of a 7-year deal.
Yeah, so they got him until 2029 or 2030. So, yeah, that's worrisome. But we'll wait and see. Good news for them is Ranger Suarez did pitch 5 scoreless innings last night, so Ranger's coming back. And honestly, bro, even if Nola is bad this year, I don't even think let's see what Christopher Sanchez is at. That's forearm. That's kind of scary. That could be Tommy John.
Like today he said it feels fine, but when you have a pitcher with forearm soreness at all, like I think the solution should be just shut him down for a few weeks, period.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a arm technician. Don't call it. Never claimed to be a doctor. And like when you talk Tommy John shit, I don't know what's going on. Because sometimes you say, "Oh, I got Tom." Some people are like, "I need Tommy John," but they just pitch 7 innings, and it's like, well, if you need a surgery that's gonna take you out for 2 seasons, how is your arm even working right now? But anytime a guy has forearm soreness, that's usually kind of code for low key. Hey, UCL might be torn. But, hey, they got Wheeler still. If they got Ranger back, and they got Luzardo, who's pitching great, and even Taiwan Walker's pitching great. Like, I mean, hey, even if Christopher Sanchez is out and Nola's sucks this year, and he's completely washed, which we'll see. I don't even think that's probably true, but it's still better than a lot of teams. The real thing about the Phillies, which is the question mark, which I will take credit for saying, is the bullpen, which has been the 29th worst bullpen in the league, and Phillies fans are freaking out about it. But like that's kind of been the Phillies' MO for like the past 5 years or longer. Maybe not the last 2 years with Hoffman in there, but that was kind of the thing. Like the team's good, the lineup's fire, we got starters, but the bullpen chokes every fucking game. And golly, Jordan Romano, 13.5 ERA. He's kind of dragging down the whole squad, to be honest. He's pitched in 10 games and has a 13.5.
When you first brought up the Phillies bullpen being an issue 2 weeks ago, I was like, man, I really don't know. Like, they've had a decent bullpen the past 2 seasons. Most of the bullpen is the same. As the time has gone on, you've looked spot on.
Yeah. Hey, dude, bullpens, that's the thing is, like, it goes year to year. Like, you got a guy who's, like, the best reliever in the league. Next year, he is the worst reliever in the league. So it's like, you see guys like Matt Strom was lights out last year. Jose Alvarado is, like, lights out all the time, but he's also the, like, scariest pitcher to watch ever. He's throwing wild, walking guys, putting guys on. Not the kind of most trustworthy closer. So, yeah, it's going to be a fight all year between Phillies fans and their bullpen. Have fun with that, fuckers. Sucks to suck. Speaking of people that suck. What time is it? Sorry, we're waiting on Ozuna to call. So I'm just kind of trying to like strategize where do we want to go next. Anything you want to...
I think we got to cover the Cubs.
The Cubbies?
I think going, especially when they lost those first 2 games in Tokyo, I was like, man, the Cubs, I'm out on the Cubs. This was their window.
That's not an overreaction. They lost 2 games in Tokyo.
Yeah.
March 13th. Mitchell was done with it.
I was done. But their owner had already said, like, we can't spend like the Dodgers. They went out of their way to acquire Kyle Tucker, but like commitment to
then
keep
they
him.
Traded Bellinger.
And
that was what annoyed me this offseason with them. Was like getting Kyle Tucker and then immediately being like, all right, Bellinger's out. It's like, are you trying to fucking win or are you trying to sell? They're doing halfway middle, which is all the Central teams do.
And they've played only West teams. They have not played a single team in the Central Division, a single team in the East Division, and they have the best run differential in baseball.
They've played the Dodgers 20 times this season so far.
They're already done playing the Dodgers, Padres, and Diamondbacks, who are 3 of the best teams in baseball so far. And they split the season series with the Padres. They have 1 more game against the Dodgers tonight. They won the season series against the Diamondbacks thanks to one of the craziest games I've ever seen. And then they've beat the Rangers 2-1, and then they swept the A's.
So they've had one of the hardest schedules probably in baseball. I'm not sure if we can look that up or not, but unlike the Braves, they've actually smoked. So they've had the hardest schedule probably. Dodgers, Padres, Arizona, and lead the league in run differential. 42 win run differential. In first place, 15-10. I've already said it. Kyle Tucker looks like the best hitter in the fucking league. Damn, bro. I can't believe you were out on that early.
It was more that they didn't spend. Like, their rotation didn't look great outside of Mikey Imanaga II and Justin Steele.
Mike Imanaga II?
Mike Imanaga II, look it up. And now Steele's out for the season, and yet they're still surviving pitching. Their bullpen has some issues. But their offense, they've already scored 10 runs 7 times in 25 games.
Go Cubs. Now, the question is, Mitch, I know a lot of Cubs fans aren't going to want to hear this. Is it sustainable? Do you foresee Miguel Amaya keeping up the fucking 500 slugging percentage? Do you think Michael Busch, their trusty first baseman, is going to be rocking a 948 OPS plus at the end of the season? What about P. Crow Armstrong? I think I read today from Fuzzy that he was on pace for a 9.5 WAR season out there.
I mean, Bush is a good hitter. I don't think he's a 150, 160 OPS plus player, but like he basically just had nowhere to play in LA. They traded him because they had Muncy at third, they had Freeman at first, they had Otani at DH. Like Bush was positionless on a really good team. So they traded him to the Cubs. He had a really good season last year. Like, he's not going to be a top first baseman, but he's going to be a solid hitter. Peak Armstrong's probably overperforming his hitting metrics, but he's a legitimately good base runner. He's one of the best defensive players in the league. He's going to be up there in like Gold Glove center fielders. They've got Seiya Suzuki, who's pretty consistent hitter. Dansby Swanson's been really cold. Nico Horner's a really good defensive second baseman. He probably would be like the second best defensive shortstop in baseball, but they have the best defensive shortstop in baseball at shortstop. So they've got a really good defensive infield.
The infield to be turned double plays. Dansby's starting off slow.
They haven't played a team in the Central, which most people consider the weakest division in the league.
Yeah.
Divisions.
I mean, that is impressive to have that good of a record against those teams this early. And they did it with their hitting, which kind of surprises me. I mean, there's not really one aspect of the Cubs. I guess you would say their strength would be their pitching, though, going into the season. With Shota, I mean, with Justin Steele, like, people were high on him. He's out, obviously. I would say Matthew Boyd. Maybe I'm the only guy who respects Matthew Boyd as a pitcher, but
I feel like there was criticism when they signed Boyd, who had like 8 good games with Cleveland last year and mostly been mediocre in the 10 seasons before that. They gave him like $30 million instead of signing an actual pitcher. And he's been really, really good.
that was a little disrespectful.
I mean, it's
signed
like
Matthew Boyd instead of an actual
like a top starting free agent.
Matthew Boyd is 34 years old. Holy shit.
Wasn't he the big prospect in the David Price trade to Detroit?
I don't know. That was a long time ago, but it makes sense. He was with Detroit. Like, I do remember. I mean, I just remember him last year. Like you said, he had a great second half and pitching for Cleveland, came in the playoffs and did really well in the playoffs and was striking everybody out. Like, the guy strikes out a ton of guys. You strike, like, he had a 10.4 K per 9 last year, which was like, I guess, the second best of his career at 33. So, hey, $30 million. I mean, how many years, though?
2.
2 years, $30 million. Yes, sir. Here we come, guys. Here we go, guys. It's going to be low audio again. And the producer's already blaming me.
I did that off air, but cool.
All right, Jack. What do you think about the Cubs?
Well, I mean, what are they but just small bears, brother?
He's going to his nose. He said, you got when it comes to Jack in baseball, you got to stick NL East. You got to stick Florida teams because he's a Miami Marlins guy. He's a Tampa boy. If you're not talking Florida baseball, he ain't gonna hear it. None of these Chicago Midwestern fucking.
I think I saw this stat with the Cubs too, where they've scored 43% of innings after the other team scored, or something like that.
They got heart.
They got heart. They on Friday I went to this game, my first Wrigley experience. I don't think you can top it. There was
I could top it. We just wait till I go to Wrigley for the first time.
Okay, you go.
I'll have a way better experience than you. I bet.
You do it.
Life on it.
You're finally gonna catch a foul ball.
Probably. Well, I'll catch a home run. I'll be in the bleachers, brother. You
So
know High Rock.
They scored 5 in the 7th. They went up 7-1. Then allowed 10 runs to the D-backs.
Oh, you were at that game?
I was at that game.
No wonder you keep trying to talk about it.
It was the most electric game. I don't think like my baseball experience will ever top this. Then the Cubs come back. They win the game after allowing 10 runs. And then they basically did the same thing last night against the Dodgers.
Yeah, they were fucking. I mean, I was checking because I was betting. Like, that's how I knew this was happening. I was looking at the betting odds the night before. Who I want to bet for a home run today? And the odds for the Dodgers were like crazy. It was like Shohei was like plus 200. Mookie Betts was like plus 220. You know, like Tommy Edman was like plus 300. And I'm like, what the why is Tommy Edman? He's like usually like plus 700. I'm like, the wind's got to be blowing out. There's no way. And then I turned on yesterday, dude. They scored fucking 10-11. They won 11-10 last night off. They were down to their last out. Had this guy Amaya at the plate. Hits a fucking bomb, buzzer beater bomb, take it into extras and win it. And it was the same thing against the Diamondbacks.
The Cubs catchers, like Amaya's not even their best catcher right now. Carson Kelly was the first player since like Babe Ruth to have a 15 plus OPS this far into the season.
Well, didn't the Cubs and the Diamondbacks like not score all game until like the 7th or 8th?
That game, Carson Kelly hit a homer in like the 3rd inning, and it was 2-1 going into the bottom of the 7th.
2-1 going to the bottom
And
of the
it ended 13-11.
Let's go, dude. The snakes in the cup.
I was sitting next to these 4 guys, and they put a bet on the runs being over 9.5, and they were going to the 7th. They were sweating. They were like, "Man,
yeah,
the wind's blowing out. There's only been 3 runs scored the whole
Checking the
game."
win.
And I've never seen guys more excited
That's
to
a
see
real-
runs scored against their own team.
Yeah, you know you're a real degenerate when you're checking the freaking wind on the fucking weather app. You got the Chicago saved in your weather app. Fucking degenerate. I'm the same way sometimes. Yeah, so they took it to the Dodgers. I mean, finally that's over. They've played 25 games, and 7 of them have been against the Dodgers. 3 series already this early in the season. Holy moly! By the way, Shohei Ohtani 0 for 8 since being a dad. Just saying.
Yeah, he does have one of the worst lucks by Xlug. If you really want to get into the analytics, he's really unlucky on extra base hits, it seems.
I would say that I trust you on that. I trust that Ohtani's average exit velocity is just 110. Every ground ball is like 130 miles per hour. His expected stats are going to be insane because he is the best player in the world. Tommy Edman leads the league in home runs, the National League in home runs. Did you have that coming into the season? So Tommy Edman's outperforming Shohei, has way more power than Shohei. Shohei's got a measly 6. Tommy Edman is smoking him with 8. And that just goes to show like how I mean, I've seen a little bit of that. Dodgers fans being annoyed, like, why aren't we playing better? It's like, bro, like you guys have endless people. Like Tommy Edman is leading the league in home runs right now. You're going to be fine. Freddie Freeman, who was just a red flag and a half for like, this guy's getting older. He's battled injuries all playoffs, was basically dying, taking 20 fucking Vicodin in a game to get on the field. Probably addicted to painkillers by now. He can't probably play all offseason practice or anything because he's hurt every body part. And then he starts the season, hurts his oblique, then trips in the shower, another suspicious injury. And it's like, oh God, Freddie, man, we love you, man, but you're 35. Looks like you're going to, start to fall off a cliff. 177 OPS plus. He's banging it. They're all banging it, to be honest. That's what I'm reporting for the Dodgers. They can bang it. The Cubs can bang it. The Dodgers can bang it. I'll tell you what, dude, I'm fucking pumped for Skenes is facing the Dodgers this weekend.
I saw the notes here, and I was like, I thought he was pitching against the Angels, and it seems like the Pirates went, nah.
Nah.
We're moving you to the prime time.
I love that, dude. Like, that would piss me off. If you're pitching against the Dodgers, come on, Pirates, what are you playing for? You want to win the division this year? I don't think you really do. Even, you got to give us Skenes versus Ohtani. Like, thank God for the Pirates. Bob Nutting, I like him. I bet that was his call. I got to get the fans back on my side. I'm waiting for Skenes to go against Ohtani. Last year, if you didn't see it, he struck. Probably one of my favorite moments of last year was Skenes against Ohtani at that game at like 7 o'clock. This is when Skenes was like first kind of getting into the league. Like he was the bee's knees. Everyone's talking about Skenes. It was Ohtani. He fucking strikes at Ohtani 3 pitches, 3 fastballs, blows it by him. Just the best hitter on the planet other than Aaron Judge. Best baseball player of all time, blows it by him with just 3 straight fastballs, dominating in like his 3rd MLB start. Then Ohtani comes up 30 minutes later, takes him deep to center field, 420. So like I'm excited to see that matchup. I'm not excited to see the Pirates play the Dodgers. Seems like a blowout waiting to happen, but that one game is going to be must watch.
No, I think it's funny though, with the Pirates playing the Dodgers, I just think of that time, I think it was 2 seasons ago, that the Pirates, who were terrible, went to LA and swept the Dodgers.
I remember that 4-game sweep of the Dodgers. So if they do that this year, I mean, let's be honest. Let's just call a spade a spade. And like I said, April 23rd, if the Pirates go to LA and get a sweep, are you back in, Mitch? That would put them at 12-15. I don't know if they play tonight. Are you backing on the Pirates for a sweep?
No.
Oh no, Cruz hits a couple bombs. Some Kutch looks good. Baby.
Did you see
Reynolds did a commercial with the other Reynolds, Ryan Reynolds, Brian Reynolds. They're getting a lot of celebrity status.
They did an ad together?
They did an ad.
Wow, it's about time. I've always thought Brian spells his name with the Y. I'm like, this is just a Ryan Reynolds collab waiting to happen, and it's taken like what, 8 years?
I know. I mean, everyone had the most marketable player in MLB, Brian Reynolds. Thank God he's going to Hollywood now. Now he's going to LA. There's going to be a lot of paparazzi out there to see Brian, see Paul. Hopefully Livy will be there. All the stars will be out to see the LA Dodgers versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. All right. But now going to our Braves, man, because we love talking about our Braves. The Braves have been in the news for all the wrong reasons all season, and it got even fucking worse for us because Spencer Strider, man. He was supposed to save us, Mitch. Spencer Strider, some of the biggest thighs you've ever seen on a human being, this guy. Just fucking massive thighs. I mean, we talk about Big Dumper having a big ass. Yeah, he's got a big ass, but Strider's thighs takes the cake in terms of oversized body parts. Spencer Strider's thighs. Holy fucking shit. Didn't help him, man, because he comes in, throws one game after Tommy John, and has a pretty good outing, does pretty well. They lose the game, but not because of him. And then he's playing catch in the outfield, hamstring, strains his hamstring. And what are they saying? It's going to be like weeks, right?
So it's not like
zoom in on those thighs. Everyone, if you're not on YouTube, holy shit.
It's not a grade 2 strain is what they're saying, which knocked out Michael Harris last year for 2 months.
Yeah.
But they still said they'll reevaluate in a few weeks. So we're not going to see Strider again until probably late May.
Yeah, so it's not what you want to see, especially with how the pitching has been worked out. I mean, going into the season, people were worried about the Braves pitching. It was like the one aspect where we thought we needed to add and we didn't add. Then Ronaldo Lopez gets hurt. Chris Sale. Mitchell still has faith in him. We'll wait to see on Chris Sale, but he's been not great to start the season. Velocity's down. Schwellenbach has been the one shining spot. Well, we're throwing out Bryce Elder. I mean, Bryce Elder did good today, right? How do you look?
He allowed 1 run in 6 innings.
There you go. That's good.
But I think both the Cardinals and the Braves were just ready to get out of town because Miles Mikolas for the Cardinals entered the game with a 7 ERA, and both of them allowed less than 1 run.
What a pitching matchup. Bryce Elder versus Miles Mikolas. But Miles Mikolas, I mean, I don't know the numbers. I feel like he dominates us every time. And that just could become from the 2019 playoffs, but I feel like Miles Mikolas.
I mean, I tried to not ever think about the 2019 playoffs, so I don't even remember him pitching in that, but probably.
He diced us up. I think he was coming, that was like his first season back from Korea, and Miles Mikolas against the Braves. Can't touch him. But yeah. Then you got Ronald Acuna Jr. And we covered the Ronald Acuna Jr. stuff. There's been some more stuff coming out about that and the Braves and where they stand with Ronnie. Jeff Francoeur came out and gave some quotes, man. He, I would say, would you agree with this, Mitch? If you didn't know, so Jared Kelenic hits a double, doesn't run, gets thrown out at second base, doesn't hustle. Brian Snitker says, why should I bench him? Goes on Twitter. Acuna responds to Kelenic not getting benched for not hustling, says, if it was me, you would have benched me. So Acuna looks upset at the manager, right? And I would say I would say 80 to 90% of people were on Acuna's side on this. At least on Twitter, which could be skewed. Because I want to say if you go to fucking Braves Facebook, it's probably be a lot of be like, get out of the box, you fucking slowpoke. Different demographic. Might not be as, so how the old school guys, no hot dogging. We don't like hot dogs. Acuna, a little bit of a hot dog. Kelenic sometimes can be a hot dog. Both similar players in the way where I can see them getting pissed and not struggle, but also go play 1,000 miles per hour. Acuna is one of those guys where he sprints out every ground ball 1,000%, but then gets benched 3 times for not hustling. Anyway, Jeff Francoeur, former Braves player, current Braves broadcaster employed by the team. Do you have the specific quotes? I mean, I can paraphrase, but he went.
Yeah, I don't have the specific quotes. I can see if Awful Announcing has it.
Yeah, he went really hard on Acuna, and I was surprised. He took Snickers back, and Snitker, the manager for the Braves, he's been in the Braves organization for 40 years. I mean, this guy managed 30 years in minor league baseball for the Braves.
Yeah, he's been with the organization since 1970 something. He started coaching for the Braves in 1985, He's been a coach on the major league team like 4 different times, and he's been the manager since 2016.
So think about that. He's been with the organization in the minor leagues as a coach since 1985. That means like anyone who's come up, like he was probably had like John Smoltz. Did he come up with the Braves? John Smoltz in the minor leagues? But like someone like John Smoltz was probably managed by Brian Snitker.
So John Smoltz was traded.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I think he would have overlapped with Snitker in the minor league.
So like Brian Snitker managed Chipper Jones in the minor leagues. Like he remembers when Chipper Jones was 18 years old, which to give you context, this guy's been with the Braves forever. And so is Frank Gore. Frank Gore came up with the Braves the same way. Like, and he had Snitker's back very heavily. He said that Ronald Acuna, before getting benched in 2019, was warned a bunch of times, which Mitchell, you don't buy?
No, so I have a buddy, No More Fielders on YouTube. He went and checked his batted ball profile, like specifically balls that would have been possible homers that Acuna would have watched and waited. And the only example was in the regular season, the Dodgers thing that he got.
Well, wasn't there one where Mookie Betts dropped it?
Yeah, but then like you watch that one and the coaches are confused, the players are confused. So
Okay.
like he's not gonna get benched if the Eric Young Jr. is going like, I didn't see the ball either.
Uh-huh.
It looked like on the broadcast, Betts caught it. The broadcast is going, Betts caught it. And then they go, wait, it looks like he dropped it. So
Yeah.
you're not going to get pulled if everyone in the ballpark, except I guess the one umpire who called it right, is confused.
Now, yeah, shout out to No More Fielders. Check out his YouTube channel. I don't know if that StatCast search really vindicates Acuna that much. I mean, there's a lot of plays that you cannot hustle on. It's ground balls and pop flies and shit. Like, do you think Frank Gore is lying about him being warned before getting benched? 9 to 10 times sounds...
That sounds a lot. And
he
I
was
think
probably exaggerating when he said he's been warned 9 to 10 times.
it might have been a few, like grounders. But if you're talking about 2018, 2019, he hasn't been benched since then.
Mm-hmm.
So the context is, before that moment that he got benched, he had been warned multiple times before that. I don't buy it because he got injured in his rookie year in Boston running out of ball. He had, up until that point, like 200 games of experience. So maybe you'll find a grounder there, here or there, but you're not going to find 10 times.
10 times.
No way.
That's a lot of times. But if you go back to the playoffs when he didn't hustle in 2019, I found a quote from Freddie Freeman, which was saying like, hey, like you talk to a guy once, but if you're having this conversation over and over again, it's like at some point, it's like, what are you going to do? We've talked to him multiple times. Maybe he was just referring to that one play a few months before, but Freddie Freeman is kind of in the same camp. Like, I just don't think Frank Gore would lie about that. Also, I don't think that even really makes Acuna look that bad. It's like, yeah, you can get benched for hustling a little bit. We still like Acuna. But I mean, the worry is that Acuna's relationship with the Braves as a player in an organization, and he's with the Braves under contract until 2029. And let's just say, like, I mean, if we've been following the Braves for a long time, like Acuna has probably 100 reasons not to really not like the Braves that much. If you trust his perspective, like he's kind of called them out. There's been a lot of incidents with Ronald Acuna Jr. Oh shit, I got the wrong thing up.
I can do some more opinions on Jeff Francoeur, but I think so. Francoeur said like, we don't need Acuna to win a championship. Jared, he was overly sympathetic to Kelenic because Brian Snitker was like, yeah, I've talked to Kelenic, trying to cover his own back. And then it was revealed like 10 seconds later that Kelenic approached Snitker on the whole thing. But I think just at the end of the day, Jeff Francoeur has known Brian Snitker since he was probably like 17 or 18.
Yeah.
Like this is a man that has helped shape his baseball career. And it feels personal.
It does.
It feels like an attack against
Also,
Snitker.
it's like, the thing is like a lot of people they're making it like a race thing. You know, like Ken Rosenthal put in his, I didn't read Ken Rosenthal's article, but like that's obviously going to be a notion when you benched 3 Latin players for not hustling. And then Kelenic, good old white boy, does not get benched. Like, you know what people are going to say, you know, and Snitker just on a, you know, just if you want to profile a man, an old white dude lives in Georgia for 30 years, like, you know, he's going to get that treatment. Maybe he's got some maybe he's got some favoritism, you know,
Some
and
unconscious
it's like,
biases.
but if you know Brian Snicker and you see that, you're gonna be like, well, fuck that. Like, you're gonna feel like, you know, it's tough. It's tough to be called racist.
Yeah, and for Frenchie,
for
that's
everybody.
a personal. I'm generally a big Frenchie fan. Like, I think
yeah.
he's a pretty good broadcaster. I didn't expect that out of him, but I think for this specific issue, it probably got too personal, and maybe he said some things about Acuna that he shouldn't have.
Oh yeah, especially the quotes of like, "We won it without you." That was a crazy thing to say.
The Braves were so bad in 2021.
Yeah, he
when
carried
Acuna
them.
got hurt.
He carried them the whole first half of the season. He got hurt right before the All-Star break. Was the only good player. Was on pace to win the MVP that year. Tears his ACL. But like, yeah, Acuna didn't play the second half of the year. They won the World Series playoffs without Acuna, but they're not in the playoffs probably without Acuna.
If they don't have Acuna from the start of, like, even from, like, let's say Acuna gets injured in May, like he did this time around, there's no way that Anthopoulos is buying at the deadline.
Yes, true. And hey, and that's my thing about Acuna. Like, I think he has a lot of great points when he's talking about benching and kind of being iffy on the Braves. I don't think he should have tweeted the shit.
Oh, absolutely.
But
not.
you could apply that to Frank Core as well. Obviously, he's not a player, but like, you work for the team. You're going to go out and call Ronald Acuna kind of like really harsh on Ronnie for being, we won without you, dude. We don't need you. Like, you kind of do. I mean,
that's like such a casual take for someone who is very involved in the game.
Yeah, let me just tell you, as a Braves fan, we actually do need Ronald Acuna Jr. worse than anything right now. I mean, so far this season, Braves started off 0-7. The one guy we got in free agency, our left fielder, pops for steroids, out for half the season, can't play in the playoffs. Ronaldo Lopez gets hurt. Okay, Chris Sale, velocity's down, has a 6+ ERA. Spencer Strider gets hurt. Now Ronald Acuna hates the manager. Like, everything has gone wrong. You know what we don't need? No, you know what we do need? Probably the former MVP who went 40-70 2 years
The Braves
ago.
are like, Braves fans are attaching themselves to Alex Verdugo, who had an 80 WRC plus last year. And he was, if he puts up those numbers that he put up with the Yankees, he would be a massive upgrade over the guys that they were starting the first couple of weeks.
I mean, yeah.
Like, it is dire.
We got Nick Young, Eli White in the lineup. Brian De La Cruz is out there trying to get it done. There's a lot of guys who you'd rather have Mr. Acuna over that. But like, to recap Acuna's history with the Braves, if you haven't been following the Braves and Acuna as close as we have, this guy, he signs with the Braves as a teenager, all right? And compared to other players, they sign Ronald Acuna for nothing. Like, you want to talk about his contract being a steal? As a teenager, they got him a steal initially, all right? So that year, Adrian Rodon, $2.9 million signing bonus. Dermis Garcia, $3.2 million signing bonus. Nelson Gomez, $2 million signing bonus. Miguel Flames, Wilkerson Garcia, Jonathan Amdure, all of the same country as Acuna, all got over a $1 million signing bonus. International free agents out of Latin America. Acuna got less than 1/10 of that. He signed for $100,000. All those guys signed for $1 million plus. I don't believe any one of those guys made the major leagues. And if they did not play for long. I mean, I have not heard any of these names other than looking at this research and comparing Acuna's contract. So the Braves, initially just getting him on the team, you got him an insane deal. You got really lucky because 4 years later, he's the top prospect in baseball. Now, you can't really blame the Braves for that. All right, they've doubled his, they paid Acuna double his next best offer. I think the Royals offered him like $50K. So he wasn't that highly touted of a guy back then.
Yeah, the story goes that the Royals were pretty much set to sign him. He's related to Alcides Escobar, who was a big cornerstone for the Royals at the time. And then at the last minute, the Braves were like, we'll give you $100K. And so we signed him with the Braves.
So Acuna got 1/10 of these guys signing bonus, $1,000. The Braves paid him double his next best offer. And that was an extreme bargain because within 4 seasons, this was the second best prospect in baseball behind only Ohtani, who was 23 years old, already had an MVP in Japan. I would not count Ohtani as a prospect at all. So you basically got the number one prospect in baseball for $100,000. Okay. By the time he was 20 years old, he was already big league ready. He had gone off in the minors, had improved each year. In his first spring training, he went off at 20 years old, was the top prospect on the team for a team we hadn't made the playoffs in 5 years. The Braves had not made the playoffs in 5 years. He was already arguably the best hitter on the team without playing a single game. He had an OPS over 1,200 in spring training that year, and the Braves sent him to the minor leagues anyway. To start the season, they sent him to the minors. And instead of Ronald Acuna, who they bring up?
Preston Tucker,
Motherfucking Preston Tucker.
whose claim to fame now is just being Kyle Tucker's brother.
Kyle Tucker's brother. Okay, so instead of Ronald Acuna, they brought up Preston Tucker. All right, and in baseball, this is what you refer to as service time manipulation. So essentially, when you're an amateur player and you sign with a team, that player the team has rights to that player for 6 seasons. After 6 seasons, they become a free agent. Any team is able to sign them then. If they are good, a bidding war starts and they make a shit ton of money in the open market. You got to go through 6 seasons on the team that drafted you. Then you're able to make the money you really deserve. But there is a loophole that has been taken advantage of for years now. Essentially, a player has to play 6 full MLB seasons to become a free agent. If a team brings him up to play on opening day, that would count as a full season. But if they put him in the minor leagues for 2 weeks, call him up on April 13th or later, they spend 95% of the year in the major leagues. Technically, that's not a full season. So you get Acuna or any top prospect, you call him up 2 weeks into the season, he plays 95% of the games, but technically, doesn't count as a full season, so you basically get an extra year of control. You put him in the minors for 2 weeks, you get an extra year of control. So instead of becoming a free agent in 2024, Acuna couldn't become a free agent until 2025. This saved the Braves probably millions of dollars, would you say? I mean, like maybe tens of millions.
Yeah.
This saves the team millions of dollars. Again, can you really blame the Braves for doing that?
They think they have a generational prospect. They look down the line. They say, do we want him until 2024 or 2025? And it's like, yeah, that's 2025.
Like, as a team, like, you got to, the rule is kind of bullshit. And they've done things to, like, change this rule with certain qualifiers or whatnot. But every team does this. And if you're a team that has an Acuna on the team, you're really dumb and kind of doing yourself a disservice if you don't do that. So you can't really blame the Braves, again, for doing that. However, it cost Acuna millions of dollars, for sure. He starts in the minors. He immediately makes an Instagram post saying, "I'll be back." He was right. He struggled early on. Some Braves worried about his slump because he did bad the first few weeks in the minors. He went to Instagram again saying, quote, "I always hustle since early in the morning, and I don't know anyone who could replace me." That seems pretty harmless to me, honestly. That just seems
really bold, though, for like a minor leaguer.
Yeah. But he was fucking right.
Always hustles.
Anyway, within like, I think a few minutes or whatever, a day or so, that caption was deleted, which kind of leads to speculation. Did someone in the Braves organization say, "Hey, Acuna, delete that fucking post. We don't want you talking like this." And by that point, he had already been in hot water with the squad. In one of Acuna's first interviews ever, right? Rookie, hadn't played a single major league game. He's in spring training. And he was warned not to wear his hat like this. He basically has his hat. I don't know how to even describe how he had his hat. With the bill of his hat was pointing towards the sky, man.
Yeah, it was like a miniature Fernando Rodney.
Yeah, it wasn't twisted. It wasn't on all the way. The Braves didn't like the way he was wearing his hat. Reports began coming out that Acuna was talked to and warned not to wear his hat like this, okay? Insinuating that it was disrespectful to the organization to wear your hat in the way Acuna was wearing it. This became a pretty big controversy. A lot of articles about it. Brian Snitker, the manager, said he didn't even see it, said nobody even told him about it, and the whole thing was blown out of proportion, which might have been true, but more incidents like that are still coming on for Acuna, okay? Because Snitker emphasized that the Braves do have traditional rules passed down. We're kind of like a little bit like the Yankees. We're like the Yankees of the South. Pull your pants up. They don't like it. You're not allowed to wear sunglasses over your hat. They got rules about eye black. You got to have your uniform in the right way, all that shit. Okay. And Acuna, early on wasn't following the rules. Again, he literally had his hat on his head, a little weird, and it became a pretty big story. Anyway, after a few weeks, Acuna gets called up, immediately a star. At 20 years old, third in the team in WAR, was the team's best hitter, led the team in homers in only 111 games, won Rookie of the Year, hit a notorious grand slam in the playoffs, gave the Braves their first postseason win in 5 seasons at 20 years old, all right? But behind the scenes, there were some more incidents that we didn't know this at the time, but later we have found out. During his rookie year, Acuna was scolded for how he wore his eye black. Teammate Freddie Freeman supposedly wiped the eye black off his face and told him to not wear sunglasses on your cap. So they're giving Acuna a lot of grief. And if you're a young player like Acuna, you're 20 years old, you're carrying the team. I mean, there was a lot of good guys in that team, but you're 20 years old. You're the next best thing in baseball, next best thing in the organization. You hit the grand slam to win them the game. You're an amazing player, and they're giving you shit over how you're wearing your hat and shit. Like, I can see you kind of being like, well, fuck these guys. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm the best player on the squad. I'm doing everything you asked me for. You signed me for $100,000, and I'm hitting. Why am I getting shit all the time? I feel like everyone hates me. So there was a lot of that. However, Mitchell, you might think, okay, Acuna hates the Braves. But not a few weeks later, sorry, I lost track a little bit. A few months after that, Acuna signs what is effectively a $135 million contract that would keep him on the Braves for 10 seasons. So you might think, okay, Acuna hates the Braves. They're talking shit to him. Then he turns around and signs a 10-year deal to stay with the Braves for $135 million. And now this looks probably like the biggest ripoff maybe ever in MLB history, okay? 10 years, $135 million. One reporter estimated at the time that Acuna would get $300 million on the open market, all right? That was way wrong. Okay, Acuna would have got like double $300 million, like literally 5 to 6 times more than what he ended up signing for. All right. After he's been an all-star 4 times, has 3 Silver Sluggers, has an MVP. His contract right now is only the 65th most valuable in the sport. This is probably a top 5 player when he's healthy. 65th best contract. He's only the 6th highest paid player on his own team. A few years later, Austin Riley, who we love him, way less productive than Acuna, signed for 2 times what Acuna signed for. Okay? And that's Austin Riley. And Austin Riley is a good player, but he's not Acuna. And he got double.
And it's still a good deal for Riley.
Yeah.
The Braves.
Hell yeah. I mean, when Riley said that, Braves were like, oh, damn, they got a steal. Team-friendly deal. I mean, the Braves are famous for it. But Ronald Acuna's is next level. Okay, so Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's been worse than Acuna, got 5 times more money. Tatis, Trey Turner, and Devers got contracts 3 times more valuable than Acuna's. Arenado, Bogarts, Carlos Correa all got at least 2 times more than Acuna. Even his ex-teammate, Charlie Morton, who is 41 years old, he has an ERA over 10 so far this season, is getting paid more than Ronald Acuna Jr., dude. Charlie Morton is getting paid more than Ronald Acuna, and the list goes on and on, guys. All right. Acuna said at the time he has no regrets, but since he's fired his agent, he's also come out and said he wants to negotiate a new deal and become a Braves for life. So he's basically hoping to get a contract closer to what it's actually worth by saying, I want to be a Brave for life, like extend me. Let's work out a deal. But let's be honest, the Braves have no reason to do that. Okay, when he's healthy, he's probably top 5 player in the league. And on the current contract, the Braves get to pay him less money than the Guardians play a 37-year-old Alex Cobb. Alex Cobb, 37 years old, makes more money than Ronald Acuna Jr. And the Braves have him stuck in this contract until 2029. So there's absolutely no reason for the Braves to sign this guy. All right. There's reasons why Acuna might have thought it was a good idea at the time. He was 21 years old. He was the youngest player ever to sign for $100 million. The largest contract ever for a player with less than 1 year in MLB. Yet still almost everyone at the time, despite breaking records for contract for a guy that young, everyone at the time said it was a team-friendly deal and he got ripped off. What's up? All right. I lost my place, bro.
So we have him signing his contract, team-friendly deal.
Extremely team friendly, all right? And then he went on, 2019, amazing season, won his first Silver Slugger, went to his first All-Star game, got 5th in MVP voting, but also got in more trouble, dude. More trouble with the organization, okay? In August, he crushed this ball to right field. He admires the ball. He admires his bomb, holds the bat high in the air, slowly walking out of the box, and it hits the wall. This results in just a single, and his manager, Brian Snitker, in response, benched him for lack of hustle. A month later, Acuna almost does the exact same thing. This time, Mitch, it's the playoffs. The Braves can't afford to bench him, but his manager is critical in the media. His teammates, Ozzy Albies, quote, "It's a big deal. He needs to do better." Freddie Freeman says, quote, "It's frustrating. It's kind of like beating a dead horse. If you keep having the conversation over and over again, what are you going to do?" And that goes back to my point where, like, Freddie's making it seem like this has been a continuous issue with Acuna not hustling. The Braves lost the series. It was a massive disappointment. People remember this lack of hustle, but many don't remember Acuna was hands down the best hitter in the league that year. Not the best hitter in the league, the best hitter on the team in that series. So that was completely overshadowed, his entire performance, by not hustling. Freddie goes after him. Manager goes after him. Ozzy goes after him. And then more tension that offseason, 2020. There's a holdout. Not a holdout. There's a pandemic. Baseball's not going on. Acuna says if there's a short season, he wants to play for his hometown team in Venezuela while he waits, saying that he's wanted to play in Venezuela for his hometown team, but it, quote, "wasn't my decision." Again, that's insinuating that he wants to play in the the Venezuelan Winter League, but the Braves aren't letting him because he's injured. But I mean, people play in their winter leagues all the time, even stars. They go home, they play for their local team. But he's making it sound like, hey, the Braves aren't letting me. The Braves banned Acuna from playing for Venezuelan Winter League. Okay, Acuna plays in 2020. He's on goes off. 2021, he's on pace for an MVP season, then tears his ACL. However, the Braves rally and end up winning the World Series without him. Then, immediately after that, an emotional departure, we lose Freddie Freeman. The beloved Freddie Freeman leaves the Braves. The entire team and fan base mourns this loss. Everyone's sad except Acuna. He goes on Instagram, says, "I won't miss Freddie Freeman," saying they had friction, that he was overbearing, and wasn't somebody he could talk to. So he basically fucking spits on Freddie Freeman's grave, leaving the Braves, who is like Braves Jesus. Everyone only has nice things to say about Freddie Freeman. Acuna says, not so much. Talks about how Freddie Freeman wasn't fair to him, wasn't a good friend, wiped off his eye black, all that jazz. And didn't appreciate what he did as a rookie. Then in 2022, Acuna struggles. In the playoffs, they had disappointing loss to the Phillies. That was made even worse for Acuna on this play. Okay, a weird bounce off the wall allows JT Realmuto to get an inside the park home run. That was JT Realmuto, right? Inside the park home run. And this had no effect on the game whatsoever. But once again, people are saying, why the fuck isn't Ronald Acuna Jr. backing up, getting a lot of shit? Okay, he's getting called out. The Braves don't say anything. The manager doesn't say anything. But in the media, they hate it. Again, he gets called out for this. There's a chance the Braves heavily suggested or requested Acuna. Okay, sorry, I skipped the line. Because Jack's staring at me. What, you got something to say?
Yeah, we're ready, brother.
Yeah, well, I'm like trying to get done with this, and then we'll talk to Ozuna. Can you hear me?
No.
Okay. Well, I know we're ready, but can I finish what I'm trying to give the context to it?
Yeah.
You're kind of distracting me in the background, putting people in my face and whatnot, whatever.
I just looked at you.
Okay, anyway, I lost my spot. So he gets criticized for not backing up a fielder. This is another criticism for Ronald Acuna Jr. That offseason, another minor incident with the organization occurs. The WBC was this offseason. Acuna elected not to represent Venezuela. People in Venezuela were pissed, okay? He got a ton of criticism out of Venezuela, and that's when Acuna comes out saying he wants to play, but it's not his decision, and the team and doctor aren't letting him. Basically saying, the Braves aren't letting me play. Now, maybe the Braves suggested that he can't play or heavily insinuated you shouldn't play because you're coming off a knee injury a year ago, but according to the rules, an organization cannot tell a player they can't play in the WBC. So everyone in Venezuela goes out saying, that's bullshit, you're lying. Miguel Cabrera, his teammate in Venezuela, says you're lying. And Acuna kind of has to backtrack it and say, hey, I will play. The Braves are letting me play. But it begs the question, were the Braves telling him not to play? And if they are telling him not to play, why is he not allowed to play? Can't you see if you're Acuna and you're playing for a contract like that is the biggest steal ever, you're the best player in the league, according to some, you're getting paid peanuts, and your own organization who you're doing this for, you did them a favor by signing this contract, isn't even letting you represent your own country, isn't letting you play in the Venezuelan Winter League. Like, if that is true, you can see why Acuna might not like the Braves that much. Now, we have to be fair. Acuna has played multiple seasons since in the Venezuelan Winter League, but that was after allegedly them not letting him do it. Anyway, moving on. He ends up playing in the WBC. Everything's good. He goes back 2023, comes back on the Braves. Everything's fine. And he has literally one of the greatest seasons of all time. He leads the league in NL. He leads the NL in hits, runs, steals, on base percentage, OPS, weighted on base percentage, total bases, and most notably becomes the 5th player ever to steal 40 bases and hit 40 homers in a season. And is became the first player ever to hit 40 homers and steal 70 bases in a single season. Again, this is a guy who's getting paid less than a 37-year-old Alex Cobb. Okay. And since then, since 2023, Tatis Jr., Juan Soto, and Vladimir Guerrero, who Acuna essentially is as good or better than all these guys, have signed contracts for 3 times, 5 times, and 7 times more valuable than Acuna. If the Braves never manipulated his service time in 2018, if he never would have signed that 10-year contract at 21, he would have been a free agent this offseason, likely got $500 million or more. I mean, that's conservative, I'd say. $500 million.
Yeah, it would have been the same offseason as Ohtani.
Yeah.
And Ohtani signed for $700 million.
And even with 2 torn ACLs, he's getting $500 million. Instead, he's stuck getting paid 1/5 of that for another 4 seasons on the Braves. So you could see how Acuna has some animosity towards the Braves organization. And now, 2024, on top of that, like I said, we start 0-7. We lose Ronaldo Lopez. Profar is doing steroids. Chris Sale's velocity's down. Spencer Strider's hurt. And we're in last fucking place. But how we go? Let's get Ozuna in here.
We have the man who's saving the season.
Yeah. So, but like, we're going to kick it over to our first interview on the podcast history just to talk about this. Braves legend, Unc Zuna in here. Coming off a hot win. We're just getting right into it, man. How do you feel?
I'm not too concerned, man. It's like, think about it. Ever since that rain game, what's our record been since that? Like, we're coming back. I'm not concerned about those 7 games, but we do need to get better in our bullpen. And you got to think about it, like, we got some pitchers warming up 4 days straight and not coming in. You're burning on. You know, that's a coaching issue, not a player issue.
So the coaching is probably the problem right now. But do you think we got a chance at the division? Like, what's your prediction at the end of the season? Where are we ending?
Second is the minimum.
Second.
Yeah.
I like that. So at the very worst, second place. So that sounds like you seem to think Strider's going to be fine. He'll be back in a week or so.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. And I'm like this. I'm very optimistic. I just want to win every series. We're not going to win every game.
Mm-hmm.
That's unheard of in baseball. It's 162 games in 187 days. Let's just win every series. We dropped 2 series, but look, we won today. So just keep winning the series. Like, yeah, we're going to have a 4-game set coming up. Let's win 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
We got 3 games set. Let's win 2.
So what about
that's cool?
What about Chris Sale? Velocity's down, ERA over 6. What do you think? What do you think he's going to do for the rest of the year?
I'm gonna say this on the low end. I'm thinking he's gonna at least have 12 wins.
12 wins?
So that's very on the low end, but
Mhm.
12 wins.
At least
We'll
12
get
wins.
the offense together to help them out.
What about Iglesias? He's been down. Do you think he's going to make a comeback?
Like I said, he just warmed up 4 days straight.
Uh-huh.
Every day he's full. Like he's full speed throwing. Like he's ready. You can't have a guy be hot every day and expecting him to come out and his velocity be the same.
Okay.
Like you saw his velo go down about 5 clicks
That's a lot.
by the last start. Well, not last start. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Closing, and he gave up that 3-run home run.
Also, I want to ask, what's our record since you went to that rain delay game and went viral? What's the Braves record?
Our home record or our overall record?
Give me both.
All right, I don't want to miss up stats. So I think we're 10 and 14 now. Is that correct?
Mitch, is that right? 10 and 14?
All right. So as far as home games, every home game that we played, we won except one
Mhm.
that I've been at. And I go to every game, every home game that is. I go to a couple away series. Yep, that first 7, I don't even care about that. But since then, we've been on the tear.
So
we should have dropped those games in Toronto. They were all winnable.
So since
All winnable.
Unc Zuna hit the scene, entered the consciousness of I guess the internet or the world.
The world.
Because I know that you've been going to games. This ain't your first year going to games.
No.
But since they decided to put you on TV on the broadcast, we are 6-1 at home.
Correct.
So games
That's
that you've
correct.
gone to, we are 6-1. Since
That's
Ozuna.
correct.
And then that
We only
game,
had one loss. That was the one loss we had was yesterday, but we won this series.
we got the vibes guy.
We got our vibes, guys.
So do you think, how many games are you going to go this year? Home games? Every single one?
I usually go to all 81, and we play all 81.
Can you guarantee 81
I
games
was-
this year? Because we
Hey.
need you at 81.
We got to get you up
All
to
right.
DC here because the Braves were terrible up here last year.
Yeah, I do need to get to DC. But put it like this: at the end of the season, I do a scroll through of all the games. I take a picture of the field every game. So I'll show you.
81.
Unc, who you wearing
Yep.
today?
Oh, I'm actually the first base coach today. So I wanted to make him smile. So this year.
Good one.
Good one. Nice.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so I'm trying to stir it up. I got a lot of unis, but I don't want to bring out a Acuna or whatever because what's the point? What's the point of missing up a high end jersey like that should be hanging on the wall?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm wearing these jerseys every day, it's ice cream and all types of stuff you get into in the stadium.
So how long have you had season tickets for the Braves?
Overall, family over 30 years. Me, about a decade.
So you've had your own season tickets for 10 years, which
Yeah.
you grew up going to every single game, basically every game, right? Season tickets.
I didn't go to every game as a kid, but when I became an adult, I started going more and more games. And I'll say around 2018, that's when I really started just like trying to make it to every game.
Uh-huh.
But I used to stay like far away from the stadium, and I moved 5 minutes from the stadium just because of the break.
Damn, you're in heaven every game, bro. You lived the dream.
Yeah, I live the dream, man.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah, I stay right here in this county. Like, it's pretty dope, man.
So when did you start rocking the sleeve and going Ozuna? Because I had never seen Unc Zuna from the Braves since that Phillies game.
Okay, so when Ozuna used to play left field, I used to have a seat right there behind the bullpen. So I used to like heckle him in a good way
Mhm.
and ask him for a sleeve. And one day I ended up getting a sleeve. This is not the same one, but that's when it started with the sleeve.
So you had his actual sleeve, but do you keep that on
Yeah.
the shelf? That's not something you want to wear
Yeah,
every
that's
day?
not something I'm going to wear to a game.
So once he gave you that sleeve, what year was that?
Was it 20? What's the last year he played in the outfield? Was it 21?
Mitchell, you
He
I
played.
think it
He
was
played a
20.
bit in 2022.
Yeah,
But
I think it was 21.
his last real season in the outfield was 2021.
Damn. Last 3 seasons. Hey, that's kind of about the time Ozuna turned it around, too.
Exactly.
So 81 games. We need you at every game because you literally saved the fucking season. I mean, if it wasn't, if you would have went home early in that rain delay, I don't know I don't know if we're on a winning 5 out of 6.
There's no way Marcell Ozuna walks off that game.
and
It was scripted.
For him to get that home run in that game, where it was like, I mean, you go to every single game. Like, how many times have they put you on TV?
I've been on the screen inside the stadium before a lot, but this was the first time that the announcers acknowledged me.
So
And ever since that game, they acknowledge me every day. Well, for the most part, I get a text or two from somebody it's like, "Hey, man, you on the screen? Like you on ML? I don't know if you want me to say all that, but yeah, I'm on the network and stuff now." So,
well, so how many pictures you take a day now after that?
man, you see people walking by me and they're trying to get my attention. And I'll say 500 and up, man. Like
500 pictures a day.
At least.
At the
And that's
battery.
on the low end. So it's some days that like it may take me an hour to get from one side of the ballpark to the other side. And I have to watch the screens because the whole time they want to see, me doing A-Town down because
Yeah.
it is what it is now, since that first series win.
You might be more popular than about every other Atlanta Braves player who's ever played for the team except for maybe 5 or 10
You
of them.
think if Eli White is walking around the battery after a game, he's getting 500 pictures?
I don't
Hell
think
no.
Brian McCann's getting that type of attention.
For
That's
real.
crazy, man. We all remember that time Brian McCann was around the second. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
But yeah, it's cool, man. Because the thing is, the players are not going to come out here in uniform. So coming out here in a uniform, taking pictures with the other fans or fans like me, and making little kids happy, it's pretty dope.
Hell yeah. It's changed the fucking season. So you're 10
Yeah.
years strong as a Braves super fan.
Mhm.
Now you're Unc Zuna officially.
Yep.
Did you come up with that name?
It was a couple things going around. Marcell Ozuna, I didn't want to be named after liquor,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't want to use his last name. And then it was Ozuna, and I was like, that's cool, but it still got the O in it. So now Unc, I don't have the O, so it's no last name lineage or anything tied to it. It's just like, hey, super fan. As long as he's here, that's gonna be my name.
So
And then after that, it's still D Braves fan. So that's the way I want to roll with it. I don't want to just be known as the lookalikes. More people tell me I look like Michael Harris and Ozuna. Yes, I'm bald like Ozuna, but you get where I'm going with this.
yeah, you could switch it up. Maybe if Ozuna leaves the team, God forbid, you could go Michael Harris.
Yeah.
You have to get fucking jacked though. You have to really get in the gym, start fucking. I mean, how dedicated how bad do you want a World Series?
Hey man, I'm gonna have to start getting in the swimming pool, man, because I gotta get this beer belly going.
I mean, it works for now. For you, like, it is an Ozuna. You do when you got the uniform on. It is literally Marcell Ozuna from afar.
Right.
But tell me about your plan you want to do for the All-Star game.
For the All-Star game, or either the draft. Let's start with that. I really want to do the draft, and I need a super fan from every team to announce the first pick. I think that'll be dope. So you come in a full uni and you welcome to the family. That would be dope.
So you want every super fan from across the NFL, because I guess you're also Falcons season ticket holder.
Right.
So you want every super fan from across the league. I'm sure a lot of them are going to be at the draft if they're a real super fan.
I'm going to the draft. I'll be up there tomorrow. I'm flying out tonight.
So if you're a real super fan, you claim to be a super fan, you'll be at the draft and you're there, link up with Unc Zuna, and let's try to get a video out, everyone calling the team. But what about this year All-Star game, which is in Atlanta? What's the plan for that?
Well, I want to get one super fan from each team that wears a full uni. Now, if you don't wear a full uni, then we got to talk about something. We got to get that going. Let's all get together, shoot some content, talk about the whole league, and let's play a wiffle ball game at the new facilities we got at the stadium and have all the mascots out. I think that'll be pretty dope for the kids to experience because a lot of players are not going to have time with the MLB experience to really make an impression on these kids and get these kids back playing baseball.
Mm-hmm. Amen. That would be a sight to see.
Super fans versus mascots. I think Bloopy's gotta pull some strings, but I think that would be something that would be pretty sick.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty sick to have a super fan from every team come up here and play against the mascots.
I don't know. I think Unc Zuna might replace Bloop, bro. The tear we're on ever since then, they might be Blooper, dude. You're not winning for us. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
So Earth to
But
all
hey,
super fans, that would be a sight to see, dude. That would be crazy. Just like 30 just of just the hardcore. It's like you're
yeah,
watching.
I mean,
going
we got
after
a
it on
few
the
guys
miracle
here
field.
at Nats Park who always are in full uni. Every stadium's got to have one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Us Braves, we got the best. I would say right now, #1 super fan in the league is Unc Zuna. You came on the scene strong as fuck. So far, it's working, man. I appreciate you
Yes,
having
sir.
on. Any final words for the Braves before we send you off? So
Uh,
a pump-up
I got.
speech, something motivating for the boys.
Well, like I always say, man, if the Braves playing, I'm staying.
Mhm.
Rain or shine, I'm here for the boys. Hey, man, keep it positive. Let's keep going. Keep it moving. Let's win these games, win these series. Hey, that's it, man. Just remember, you're a bit leaguer, and there's people looking up to you to bring it back to Atlanta
For the A, baby. Let's get
for the
fucking.
A.
Let's win the World Series, man. I appreciate Unc Zuna. Appreciate you.
Hey, no problem.
Thank
Appreciate you
you.
guys.
And that was Unc Zuna from the Braves.
We got to have him up here.
Bro, I just love the positivity, man. Anytime the Braves have something bad going on, I'm just gonna call Unks. I'm just be like, bro, like, what's
He's going to
going on?
block your number eventually.
Just gonna
Braves
call-
go on a 3-game losing streak. You're calling him every night.
Just be like, listen, bro, we're good. At the end of the day, at the worst that could happen is second place. So, like, as bad as it gets, Braves fans, the worst that could happen this year is second place. And if Unc Zuna is in the crowd, I guarantee we're not gonna be losing many more games. What, 5 out of our last 6?
Yeah, I got to look up what our record is at home since 2018. Because it's got to be really good.
I'm gonna guess pretty good. All right, well, that's all we got today. Any final thoughts, you motherfuckers?
Mets keep winning. Edwin Diaz is hurt, though,
Oh, so the Mets just beat the Phillies?
on a walk-off in extra innings.
Damn.
Starling Marte, this episode, I was like, man, he's not doing well. Walks them off. Diaz has a hip issue, I think. But Mets, they can take all the shit, and they're still going to be really good.
But the Mets, baby, love the Mets. All right, baby, let's go get a home run, baby. Love the Mets. Let's go Mets.
Go Mets. Mets fans. I'm a big fan of you guys. Anyway, that's it. Anything, Jack?
No.
All right. Till next time. See ya later. Bye.